was a fire raging fiercely on the mountainside, feeding off homes and families, leaving old land bone dry. Ate the wormwood, though quite bitter, spread over the olive grove, torn down 100 lives, covered him up in plumes of smoke. And then comes that fine young man, set to fight that hunger and fire, traveling from afar, leaving his hometown, said, see you later, my dear friends, I'll soon be getting back to you. I'm gonna help my second family, I'm sure they have their own dreams too. Jimmy was a dreamer and always reached for the clouds. Pretty soon he heard a holler, what an awful sound. They dragged him out of that police car and shoved him to the ground. And that's how it ended when Jimmy came to town. He was only 38 when they framed him with their doubts, as the heat turned ash and the fire was doused. If Prometheus had an earth, he wouldn't have had to face the blaze of a mob so irate, a name that time won't erase. Jimmy wailed, but no one listened to that trembling sound. It's almost as if Jimmy was swallowed by the ground, and the town went quiet as the flames had nothing left around. That's when Jimmy's candle went out, after Jimmy came to town. Jimmy was a lover and he never wanted more. Many a song he carried, a tonic for the soul, but they could not understand it, for their hearts with hatred roared. And they reached out for their knives and destroyed that poor boy's soul.
I grew up in Algeria, and a lot of people find that weird when I say that I grew up listening to folk music, American folk music. You grew up in Algeria, how come, you know? But yeah, my brothers actually, they're the ones who showed me the first, folk songs. They're the ones who introduced me to this music. I still remember when my brother, he made me actually, he forced me to learn this John Prine song, and because he was learning guitar and how to play, and he asked me to learn the lyrics so that I can sing along. I was like 7 years old, and I didn't know what English was. I didn't know what folk music was. All I knew was what I would see on MTV or something. I didn't know much about music at that time, and yeah, my dad actually was listening to French music, and that was something that I was like familiar with. My mom would usually sing like classical Andalusian Algerian music, so that was also something that I knew. But this John Prine thing, what is it, So yeah, he printed out the lyrics to me, and he said, "Yeah, just learn this," and I learned it, and I really loved the song. And my brother was like, "Oh, you have a beautiful voice," and I was like, "Well, I should just keep doing this, I guess." And from there, I remember like we would, we had a family computer, and I only had like an hour or two a day to like, go on the internet and search for things. And I would like look up John Prine, and then I found Bob Dylan, and then I found John Baez, and then I found like a lot of other like folk artists. and I started, listening to this music. And I also remember one of my brothers. So I was going to their files just to see what they have there, what secrets they're hiding. And one of my brothers, actually, he would like download actually playlists of folk and country music and like bluegrass and all these things. And I would just like go through the files and see if I can find anything that I like. And I discovered a lot of good songs. And that's how it started. I just went from there. And
if you'd agree with me and follow me to the big old tree, would make some plans to leave this place and maybe go live by the sea. But I think that you're too scared to let go and come with me. And I know that you do believe in destiny. So if you ever change your mind, it's okay, we'd say it wasn't meant to be. And take it easy, easy. Let's go see the gracious birch tree with its white coat amidst the green, and watch a river flowing wildly on its way to meet the sea. There's no need for gold or silver, I only long for your company. Only 4 walls and a kitchen will be more than enough for me. We can make it easy, easy. And when the sand runs out, we can flip the hourglass and watch the seasons pass. And take the last train home and take it easy, easy. Love is easy if we just take it easy. Let's take it easy, easy. Love is easy if you make it easy. Let's make it easy. Easy, love is easy if you let it be.
If a song doesn't feel finished, I can finish it whenever. Like the song that I played earlier, Easy, the second song, that one, like, I think I wrote it, like, I think I started writing it and then I finished it 2 years later. Because I just, like, I actually started writing it about something that happened to me, and I finished it about something else, like about a different person, a different experience.
Yeah.
And then I also wrote. I added the chorus way later, and now I'm satisfied with what the song sounds like, and I'm glad I took that time, to actually let it sit, not play it for a while. And we'll see. And actually, the chorus just came to me. I was walking down the street, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice," And then I went home and I tried it with the verse, and it worked. And I was like, "Okay, we're going with this."
Cool. Yeah, it's a tough balance to find. I think to know when something's done versus just putting stuff out and being okay with it being like a work in progress. I think that's part of why I like doing this project, is because I'm not overthinking anything. I just keep doing it with the awareness that I am a work in progress, and then I'm progressing before other people's eyes and before my own eyes.
Yeah.
So I like to I prefer to create that way because I like to be doing things consistently, I guess, be creating films consistently. And because there's been other periods in my life where like I start to overthink myself, and then a lot of time passes and I'm like, oh, I'm not even like doing what I like to do. So
now that you say that, it just makes me think of, maybe it's like my perfectionist side that doesn't want to, share anything that is not necessarily done to, like, in my opinions, and it's like it's solely my point of view. Other people would think differently, and we have these conversations with my husband, and he's like, you really love Bob Dylan, and he's your role model. And I say, yeah. He said, what do you think Bob Dylan would have done? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I know, like Bob Dylan would have just shared it. He didn't really care, he didn't really care about other people's opinions. He didn't really care. He just wanted to get out there and show the world what he can do. And he didn't overthink it, and he just did it,
True.
Everyone booed him at Newport, but he still did it, He went on. And he always tells me, like, whenever I start talking about music and having doubts or whatever, he says, what do you think Bob Dylan would have done?
Let me tell you about a boy whose company I quite enjoy. August is a dear friend of mine. He's quiet and never makes a noise. Tells me that he likes my boys. How I hate to have to say goodbye. August looks up to me and asks to teach him wrong from right. I say, go do what you please, love, but darling, never lie. August lies here so soundly and talks about the life he wishes he could have had by my side. Here is the entire story about a fella who adores me and visits every once in a while. I only see him when I'm sleeping. Come the morn, I shed a tear and tell him that it's time to say goodbye. August leaves with the sunrise and comes back at night. August wants what I can't give, but I still try to hold him tight. August writes me letters with the words all dressed in white, and I try to reach out for August, but he keeps slipping out of sight. And in my dreams he sings to me, la 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 la. The rain stops pouring and August builds a land in the sky.
Is there a certain song that stands out to you from your that you can think of that has really good
I'm very happy.
storytelling or songwriting that like influenced you in some way?
Oh, there's a lot of those. Can I think for a second? I would say To Ramona with Bob Dylan. I think that's a really good song. I think so. I'm really into like simple ways of expressing things. Are you familiar with Charles Bukowski? I love the way he writes.
Yeah, just like to the point in short sentences.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I like. Like I have so much trouble reading like Russian literature, because they describe and they stretch the things, and like they can write like a very 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 long paragraph just to describe one thing, the frog that came. I don't know, but like Charles Bukowski and a lot of American authors too. They're like very simple and straight to the point, and I told you earlier I have a very short attention span, so I need that. I need someone who just like jumps from one idea to the other and tells you a story along the way, and you don't have to think about it. You can just like follow their thoughts, and then you just get to the point. So I think that Bob Dylan is like that in the way he writes. Like you don't need like to focus like so much on his lyrics to understand what he's trying to say. I mean, some people might disagree with me, but I really think that like he's quite straightforward. In To Ramona, you can really hear that, like you can really hear like the emotions that he's trying to express, and you can follow quite easily what he was feeling when he wrote that song, or what he was trying to say. So those are the songs that speak to me the most. The songs with a lot of references to, I don't know, Greek mythology and things like that, and that really like go further in like describing those things, describing the references that they're like adding to their songs. They kind of lose me, at some point.
Yeah.
It's just like, I follow and I find it really interesting, like, wow, you compare this to that, that's amazing. But then, like, the more you describe, the more I just disconnect.
That makes sense. You start to, like, over-intellectualize a topic.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus just, like, letting it flow right out of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of good songs probably come from that place where someone just like had to get those lyrics out. They all just came right out like really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of those early Bob Dylan songs worked. I think he said something like he wasn't like in charge or something. It was just like flowing through him at that point in time. He doesn't know where that came from. Yeah. The lyrics on a song like that. And I also really like Charles Bukowski because I also have a short attention span. So he has a way of like keeping you enticed and intrigued in his writing. Yeah. Because he's just like saying what's on the top of his mind.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you put yourself in his shoes and you're just like you're living it, and you don't have to, I don't know, have a, I don't know what kind of, like some degree in philosophy to understand what he's trying to say. When you said that that Bob Dylan, that you think that a lot of his first writings, like just, he just, I don't know, he just vomited them and they just came. I think that you can hear it when like something is forced, like when I understand it. It's a writing process, and I do it sometimes. Sometimes I want to finish that song. I want to finish it right now. So I kind of force it. I force the verse or the chorus or whatever, and honestly, I can really hear it. I can really hear that, of course, the first verse is really, it feels natural and it's really nice and nicely written. And even though it was like, it just, I just found it. I didn't make any effort in writing that. And then like when I come to the second verse, I'm like, it sounds forced. It does sound polished, way too polished. It sounds like, I sat down and I was like, okay, what rhymes with this? I need to find the perfect rhyme. And I'm trying to like do that less. I'm trying to like write whatever comes to my mind, and then I would go back to the song like 2-3 months later and see what I can change, like polish it after writing it, and not like try to write a polished thing from the start.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Totally.